Schnerdcast.
Shnerd. We're up here finally all just seen the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie. I'm going to call it the Spideyverse, so get used to it. Took me a while to watch it, but we all seen it finally, and we want to talk about it. Like, just give our initial thoughts of what we think and how this movie kind of wraps up into its own little animation thing. So, initial thoughts, you guys. I'll start with you, Will.
It was pretty fucking good. There's only a few things I didn't like. It's pretty good.
I don't know about you, Josh.
I liked it a lot. It was super, probably my favorite Spider-Man movie so far. Yeah.
So,
what about you?
Spoilers. Before the spoilers, I really did like this movie. It's probably one of my favorite Spider-Man movies in a long time since the first couple Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. So, but spoilers from here on out. I guess right now, we'll just talk about the plot and then what happens, and then after we'll just talk about. As I guess we could just talk as long as we go along. We could just talk about. So,
you have try to go in order.
Kind of, okay. But if we want to just talk about other things,
much,
I mean, if we want to jump around, that's fine. We're going to be talking about the whole movie in that sense. So, but from the beginning, Miles Morales, they introduced Spider-Man into this universe, who's obviously the best, probably Spider-Man. He's already established. He's all super hero and all that stuff. And Miles Morales is a kid. His dad's a cop. Has to go to the new school because, you know what I mean, his dad's a cop. He doesn't want him to go into the...
He goes to live with his uncle. He's super close with him, and he goes and graffitis with and does all this really badass stuff.
And he's not supposed to be going out because it's a border school where living in a whole...
kind of like a... It's a public school.
They live on campus.
Yeah,
that's right. They live on campus.
It's like a dorm.
It's called Visions or something like that.
Yeah, Miles Morales, he lives on campus. That's right.
And they're like, wait, he's not at school.
And that's
can I come home, Dad?
And then that's what's funny is how they... Oh, I like this, though, how they... do the little spray paint.
The silhouette.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to come back to that to make a new one. If he's fighting somebody or he's really beat up.
That'd be dope. Go there. That'd be a good comic.
Okay. And to be honest, I really did like his suit a lot.
When he spray painted it? Yeah.
That was his actual all the way when he's at the end suit.
Yeah.
What's funny, too, is I really like throughout the whole movie until it became the good Spider-Man at the end, where they're always like, "Oh, your shoes are untied. Your shoes are untied." So it just shows you he's not at that level. He's still hella clumsy and clunky and everything.
I don't know. At the end, though, it does seem like he overcame a lot of it, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because he pretty much got full control over his powers for the most part. You know what I mean?
That's why I liked it when
and for the record, kind of a generic ending.
And
but
for the record,
whatever.
he gets bit by a different kind of spider than Peter Parker.
Yeah, it kept on flickering. Does that mean that spider coming into the past, or it came from a different dimension?
I don't know.
It said Alchemax on it.
I don't know.
52.
I don't know what the origin of it is or why it was flickering. I wasn't sure if that was them kind of iterating. This is from another dimension, or this was a spider bred with technology. It was.
Yeah,
it was
I think
a different kind of spider.
It was just another kind of experiment.
Yeah, because
kind of like the original.
Remember that heavily supports his Miles Morales' powers.
But you got to think
because he has different powers than Peter Parker.
And that's kind of why
Gwen is from. She got launched into the week before all the Collider stuff happened.
I didn't kind of like how they
got launched into that. Yeah, because this is before it all happened, right?
I did kind of want them to show more about her, but I kind of guess there were so many Spidey characters they couldn't fit them all.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what was your guys' favorite adaptation of the Spider-Mans?
What about you, Ben?
I'm gonna have. I did like the Spider-Man Noir, but I think Spidey Pig, and I think it's because his voice. Oh, I forget what that guy's name is, but whoever
Godfrey or whatever, wasn't it?
Not Gilbert Godfrey.
I couldn't remember. I threw a shot.
He's from the Kroll Show. And it's from the guys that do Too Much Tuna, and they're like, hello.
Yeah, he did a really good job. The pig was really good.
Yeah,
I think I still like the fat Peter Parker. I think he was probably my favorite character. Just because he overcame a lot.
Yeah.
He was like,
what do you guys think of Nicolas Cage's voice acting?
It was good.
He was good,
as the Noir Spider-Man.
I was actually really surprised because it fit, but it was also like, holy shit, I want him to do more of it now. So I wanted to see a movie with him as the character.
That threw me off. So leading up to it, Miles Morales gets he gets all his powers, and then he meets with the Spider-Man because of the Collider and everything, because the regular Spider-Man dies. So yeah, when they both go to which I loved when the Peter Parker was in the sweats.
Yeah.
But they're like half sweats, half Spider-Man suit.
Yeah.
I love that. And then he goes into they both go into their little base with Kingpin.
Yeah.
Which, side note, I want to say something about that, but real quick, did it throw you guys off that Doc Ock was a female?
Oh, and Miles Morales is...
Yeah.
No, only because after I seen his Peter Parker die, and I realized that Miles Morales' Dimensions Peter Parker was blonde and like blue-eyed.
Totally different.
Yeah, totally different.
He was almost more like the
whole
Spider-Man
time,
who makes that iron suit.
Yeah, like the whole time I was
millionaire.
expecting him to like...
It's like a female
yeah,
character.
I kept expecting his villains to be different.
I did not expect
really?
that. Yeah, I wasn't even expecting Doc Ock to be in it. And then when they're like, what's your name again? She's like, Mrs. Octavia. So I was like, oh, no way. That's so awesome. Like, I was not expecting it. I was like, Robert said Octavia. I was like, that's Doc Ock.
Once I saw she was a scientist and she was working for the bad guy, I was like, all right.
My favorite...
I just didn't
see it.
Yeah,
see, I thought of it and I was like, that's probably going to be a villain.
It didn't click to me that we were going to get to see her as Doc Ock until she ripped her stuff off. Yeah. Now, I'm just saying that when I seen Miles and then I seen Peter die in his dimension, you know, and then the other Spider-Man came and I was like...
And there were some differences.
And that Spider-Man that comes, that's the bum Spider-Man, we'll call him, you know, we'll call him B Spider-Man
the
for bum.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. He's the one that I'm familiar with where he has been through like hell already, and he's just
they did change its story a bit though too.
They changed it, but for the record,
dies. She doesn't just leave him.
No, I don't think she left him. I think that something happened.
No, doesn't he say that she left him?
I don't remember, but
he says she leaves.
But
him.
nonetheless, I expected the villains to be different in Miles Morales' dimension because this is different from the dimension from really our Spider-Mans that we're used to.
I honestly, I was just when they showed Kingpin, I was like, okay, it's just gonna be him, and then they showed the guy on the motorcycle.
And
then the other dude has the fucking guns.
And you see Hammerhead,
and then
but
Prowler
with the guns, right?
Well,
and Prowler kind of threw me off too.
He's not even really supposed to use guns. He's just supposed to have a hell of a rock head.
Prowler being his uncle really threw me off.
I thought they were just gonna be like about this when they showed Doc Ock, especially as a female. I'm not
threw
you
off hella bad. You're like, whoa!
I'm not gonna lie, kind of fucking.
Did you expect to see? Did you expect to see
awesome.
Gwen, Spider Gwen, so early during that scene with Doc?
I kind of figured, especially because I saw the previews and I assumed he like. When they cut her hair, I was like, "Oh, that's definitely Spidey Gwen." Like at first, I was just like, "Oh, maybe that's his version of Gwen Stacy," and then Spidey Gwen's just gonna be in like another Spidey Gwen, just like there's another Spider-Man.
But they kind of gave it away though when they started to introduce the other Spider. They didn't introduce her
when she like because I saw the preview. That's what ruined it for me.
The side
cut,
cut,
the hair ripped off. I was like, "Oh, I mean, they showed it in the preview, so that's definitely Spidey Gwen." But I did love Spidey Gwen. She was dope. She was
I think they nailed that character pretty well.
She was a good character. I really did.
And I'm glad that Spider Pig wasn't in it for too much.
Yeah, because he's not really supposed to be a serious character.
Because he did have parts, he played his part at the end.
Here's his hammer. It'll fit in anything.
I love that scene so much. Like,
I like when he smacked King, or was it who did he smack? One of the enemies with the
one of the henchmen.
The Hammerhead guy, right?
I think it was.
Or one of the sidekick guys.
He beat
evil villain guys.
Yeah, with the fucking hammer, and he's like, "Wow!" And he's like, "Try to live." I don't know. He was just like.
Dude,
he
drops an anvil on him. He's like, "Did you really just think that would work?"
Yeah. He goes, "No, but I was delaying for him or whatever."
Yeah, exactly.
What do you guys think of the?
No, that was it.
I was just gonna say, what do you think of the robot Spider-Man with the little girl, with the big daddy Spider-Man?
I was least excited about her.
I didn't even know she was going to be in it.
I didn't get that. Is there an adaptation of her in Japan?
There's an adaptation of every superhero.
Yeah, and Spider-Man.
Even that has to be a specific reason why they chose that one.
I don't know.
It's probably new. It's probably really new. That's probably why.
That's a good question that we should look up, actually.
Look it up.
I never heard of her before that.
So, about that side note earlier.
Here, Josh.
I love, because they always did draw Kingpin. Like a big ass fucking he was always
he was huge.
Yeah, and that's what I loved. He was just like this big ass dude.
Well, animated makes it a lot easier to find somebody or make someone that fits.
Hey, Wilson Fisk and fucking Daredevil, whatever that dude's actor's name, he played a perfect King.
You know what's hella funny is he was in one of those cop shows like Law and Order or something like that. He was. No, he was.
Probably. I wouldn't.
He's in one of those cop shows.
But
that's where I recognize him from every time.
But I think in the animated version they did him really good. They made him hella strong and everything. Yeah. I did like how they introduced
his family.
The whole universe and everything. Like what do you think about Green Goblin? That's a good one. That's good one. How they make Green Goblin like a fucking huge ass monster.
Actually, though, he's supposed to be a pretty big, huge monster. He's not supposed to be like just like a regular ass. I mean,
she is super newer. She is so new that she was invented
like
by the
creators of the show. Or?
No, are you ready for
like
this
pretty
crazy
ass
ass fact?
or some shit?
No, hold on one. I'm gonna blow you away. She was invented by the former lead singer of My Chemical Romance.
Whoa.
Like I'm 2014 new.
Okay.
Like like she was
2014.
Like back in like 05 there was ideas of it or something. I wasn't when I seen that I was like, okay, she was more of a joke than Spider Pig then.
Oh, but my whole point about Green Goblin,
I liked the character. I thought she was kind of dope by the end. I was like, oh yeah, and like the pet spider thing, they kind of flipped the script on that. I liked that.
But was like her dad in the Spider-Man suit, or was her?
No,
was
the pet spider.
Was the pet spider?
Yeah, the spider that should have bit her.
Wasn't the dad in the?
No, the spider was. Yeah, she built that suit to keep that spider alive instead of letting it bite her.
That's why she lost her dad, right? That's what she lost.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, because they have the scene, which is another awesome scene where all the Spider-Mans connect.
That's
where they all bond over their loss.
How they introduce the Spider-Mans with the comics, and they're like flipping through the pages.
Yeah, to show their origin stories and stuff.
This is a movie you could watch.
It really invested me, and it made me really like I was so invested, and I really wanted to see like. I think this is why I can't really get into a lot of live action films, is because
they use actors too much. They use the actor's face too much.
You just can't do certain things in the comics that you can do in an animated movie.
They just look awkward.
Yeah,
it don't work right.
They're getting close, like with the Spider-Man and the what's his name, with the eyes and everything. Deadpool, like how they do that. Eyes, they're getting close to it.
Eyes move.
They're getting there.
Deadpool was
definitely getting there.
It's changed Spider-Man. That's what's crazy. Oh, they used Deadpool's eyes technology for Spider-Man.
Which works. It works perfectly.
Yeah,
it was needed. It was the only way that was going to work.
What's his name? Stark technology. But yeah, fucking.
Yeah, like expressive, like masks. Yeah, that makes total sense when you think about it like that. You're right. I liked it. I was excited when I heard Miles Morales was going to be the main story. I was less excited when I heard there was going to be a bunch of Spider-Man in it. And then I was really not excited when I heard Spider-Pig. And then when I seen all of them together, I was like, this is the closest we're going to get to Secret Wars. It's great. You know, like, I like it.
It reminded me of, what's that one? Bad Blood? The DC animated movie? Where it shows all the Robins and all the Batwomans fight together to save Batman.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's an animated movie, so I don't know if it's called Bad Blood or
it's called It's Batman Bad Blood.
Is that it? I was just making sure because I've watched so many of them now. There's so many.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was actually pretty good, and they hinted at Batwoman, but
where Damian Wayne
they haven't showed her yet.
Yeah, where Damian Wayne and Nightwing team up with Batgirl.
Damian Wayne is probably one of my favorite Robins ever.
That's his name, right? Damien?
Yeah, he's Batman's clone.
Sure.
It's just weird that it sounds just like one of the Wayne
brothers.
I just thought about that.
It is the same name.
It's not the same name. One is Wayne and one is Wayne.
Okay. But yeah, I really like him. All the movies with him in it are so brutal and like they're almost like Red Hood brutal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Red Hood, to be fair,
but we're talking about Spider.
For the record, for the record though, this is another scene that just got like brought up. Is you know how you brought up how Kingpin, the way he's drawn is always really interesting, you know? Like in this, he's just a fucking
he's a Hulk of a man,
wall. Yeah, like a beast. I love that.
I mean, he has to be to compete with Spider-Man.
I love how his animation, that's a good way to put it, how his animation competes with all the Spider-Man's animation and how they all seem to flow together. Because they could have easily made this awkward.
One thing I didn't like though is how the uncle showed him like how he had to talk to girls and he put his hand. He's like, hey.
Yeah.
And he did that to Kingpin.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that was too cheesy, even for this animated movie. That was too cheesy.
Well, to be fair, it's a kid's show.
So wait, do you guys know anything about that shock power? Is there any Spider-Man that has?
Yeah, dude. It's only him.
Yeah,
it's only him. Okay.
It's called the Venom Blast, I think, or the Venom Punch. Basically, there's a few different powers that Miles Morales has that's different. One of them is his flight capability of turning invisible.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a suit to do that. That's because of that spider, which is why I was like,
he can literally active camouflage.
I think the spider that bit him is mixed with technology.
But it had that. So remember, Spidey-Gwen came before that collide had happened. So remember, because in her story mode, in her storyline, she got launched Peter dies, into that place, but a week before it happened, before the collider thing happened.
Oh yeah. I think you're right. Well,
that's kind of a plot hole. Why'd you tell me that?
Well, my bad. Hold on. Let me go back to let me answer what you're saying. So he has a few different powers. He has the one to turn invisible, right? And then his spider sense works different. All the other Spider-Men can sense things before they happen when danger is on approach. Now, Miles Morales is less, he's not that gifted with his. Like, for instance, Spider-Man can go out in public and just sit there, and like as soon as someone's about to draw a gun, he'll know. Yeah. Miles Morales doesn't know until the bullet's almost going to hit him. Yeah. So so immediate danger. Yeah. Now, the punching thing, he has an ability to paralyze people with one hit. And it's because of an energy within his body that he shoots out. And it's in the comics they call it, I think, the Venom Strike or the Venom Punch. He can do it. The reason it's called that is because when he meets the black suit, the symbiote, it wraps around him and it works the first time, and he's able to get it off of him shocking it by using that. He uses a full body one of those, and it shocks it off. And then next time Venom adapts to that.
Yeah, he's like electricity resistant.
Yeah, hence the name Venom.
Damn.
That's where that came from. I only know because
I never saw Miles with the black suit.
I don't think I did either. Now that you say that, I just read that recently. The only reason I know that is because I read it recently, and I was like, "What was that?"
Ironically, a lot more black than Spider-Man's usually. So how would you even make the symbiote suit look different? Just no red, just black and white.
What if it was just regular? What if it was just normal? And he was just Beast, and he was just silver. Beast. Yeah, or silver. Oh, that'd be dope. No, then he'd look like that. Would be like if he was Toxin. Then he looked like Toxin a little bit if he was silver. That's another symbiote.
You guys think they'll make more of these?
Hope so.
God, I hope so. And I hope that they like.
I think they made money off it, so I think they will.
Oh, dude,
they made mad money. Yeah. Everybody who has watched this, except for like 4 or 5 lame critics that got roasted online for not liking this, everybody's liked it.
Damn, I don't remember that part where he fucking smashed
beats his
That's
chest
what I was gonna ask it. That's what I was gonna ask about him dying, about Peter Parker dying. The brutality of that scene was so dope and relieving to see in a kids movie like that, where it was like, okay, finally a comic scene. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like a comic.
We still haven't got to see a true Venom scene though. True, to be fair.
What do you mean, like Venom Strike?
Like Ultimate Spider-Man Venom, where he eats people, and he's huge. He's a monster, like Green Goblin would be.
Yeah.
Because Green Goblin in Ultimate Spider-Man's a monster like that. He's like a hella big, brutal beast. He's not like small, normal man.
Huh, I never knew that. I always thought he was like a...
Some versions he's regular. Some versions he's like a monster, right? Green Goblin?
Oh, yeah, that's like this one. He's a monster in this one.
Yeah, he's like a big ass.
Oh, I've seen him as a monster before this, though, for sure. So in Ultimate Spider-Man.
I thought that was supposed to be Hobgoblin.
It could be.
But there was in Ultimate Spider-Man, the cartoon, he was a monster. In Ultimate Spider-Man, the cartoon, he was a monster.
That's what I thought.
Alternate Universe, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about it. It's so original. It's just, it's not for an animated movie, for a Spider-Man movie that we've had without cartoons and everything. This is the most original thing that's come out.
You know, I'll even say a really bold statement. This is my favorite cartoon ever since Spider-Man from the 90s.
Yeah.
The original, not the original, but the cartoon from the 90s. Like, this is really good.
The last time, like, it made me really invested. Like, the last time I was actually invested is, you know, Spider-Man was, the second one with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Number 2, where Gwen Stacy dies. Where he saves her when she dies. I was like,
she smashes her own accident.
Well, no, she
snaps on.
No, I thought he said smashes.
He bungee kills her.
Yeah.
Well, I did say smash. I meant to say she like snaps.
I was like,
or whatever.
I remember I watched it like 4 times because I heard about that before. But I watched it and you could hear it's like, it's like no.
Yeah, and then they canceled it right after that. It was like, oh, what a letdown. You know, I mean, that series, it wasn't that it was great. It's just, damn, they knew how to draw you in. This one, one of my favorite parts is when they're like, he got this, and the whole team has him, and then all of a sudden they're realizing, dude, he has no idea what he's doing. Get him the fuck out of here. We can do this better ourselves. And Peter Parker, like
kicks his ass out.
Peter B. Parker, totally kicks him out, webs him up, and owns him. And
Isn't that funny how they call him Peter B. Parker?
Yeah, Peter Benjamin after his.
Well, it's like A universe.
Yeah, A and B. I love that. I loved it.
I think that's what I really like too.
Except in reality, this is not the A universe.
No, it's not. It's backwards.
Not,
This would be B and B would be.
This would be like Z at this point. There's
Yeah,
so many
Miles,
Spider-Mans
right.
before this,
Dude, you know the guy who
and versions. This is so later on, guys. Do not call us.
You know the Fat Man on.
You're gonna
Batman,
make Spider-Man fans hate us.
You know the Batman, the Kevin Smith podcast, the Fat Man on Batman thing he does.
I think so.
And he does it with that black dude, right?
I don't know.
He has this black dude that he does a host with. Their best friends, super like. I don't know what his career consists of. He's super fucking informative in all the podcasts though. But if I'm not mistaken, he motivated the guy who made Miles Morales. He was
really?
He was like, why isn't there a black version of Spider-Man? Like for the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this doesn't make any sense. And the guy who draws for Marvel and Spider-Man or whatever at the time was like, what the fuck?
He's right. I like how they made it more just like, oh, he doesn't have like
the same powers,
like white parents, or he has like Asian parents. Like he has a Mexican mom and a black dad.
Yeah,
so it's
and
like
also
they're not trying to just make it one certain.
Also, I like that he's not in a great neighborhood because that's something that's so much more relatable for people that.
That's what I
like
mean.
With Spider-Man fans. Like as far as myself goes,
I guess that's how I kind of felt too. Is like from being
this was pre-recorded,
and then having to go to
this is one of the things Stanley pre-recorded.
As one of the last things. Yeah. He might have one more cameo in it.
Because I didn't even think about that.
He might have one more cameo.
Well,
in the game.
How many?
He might have done one more.
Yeah, he might have way more. He might have recorded
I think Endgame's the last one.
Oh man, that's crazy. But when you watch Miles like progress through this movie, what's a favorite point of the movie that you're just like, oh my god, this is when I really started to like or hate or like, you know what I mean? Like, what was a highlight moment for Miles Morales throughout the whole movie for you?
Web swinging. When he learns with Peter Parker, they're learning.
And he's doing the one.
He's like, pop, shoosh,
this
pop,
is a little cliche. It's like they always
do whatever it is, you know.
He's always throughout the whole movie. They're always, because he's a clumsy little kid and everything. They're always hinting at, oh, your shoes untied. But then at the very end, when he finally becomes like the Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man, his shoes are tied.
Yeah.
So
why did he never double knot?
It's like a little detail that they just kind of hinted at, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
I think that kind of falls in line with the. Let me show you how to approach a girl. And he puts his hand on his shoulder, and then at the end with Kingpin, he puts his hand on his shoulder.
Another thing that I really liked is
when they first
shocks the shit out of him.
First infiltrate before they go into to get the computer, and the Spider-Man B is like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I usually do some stuff alone." He's like, "No, I came here. I don't want some. I let one Spider-Man down. I'm not gonna let another one die." And the Spider-Man was like, "Wow, like." Usually people want to kill me in this line of business. Nobody wants to save me.
You're refreshing to me.
Yeah, I thought that was dope because after that I felt he was like,
it was good.
Yeah,
sure, it's true.
I love the chemistry.
And that was like a little nod at like, oh, like a little kid wants to help me. And that's the first step of him wanting kids.
Yeah, and that's when you really see him.
Because that was his whole thing, right? He's his whole arc. He's scared to have kids with Mary Jane.
Oh, that's why
they broke up because.
See, that's what I'm saying. She doesn't die. She just
I know
him.
that she didn't die, but
and then he's like,
broke up.
I'm gonna try and get back with her when he goes back through his
it's like things got really stale and he became
so she hasn't died yet.
He became an old man and then.
Well, he wasn't old. He's in his 30s. He's in his 30s. He's just lazy and he's depressed.
First Spider-Man.
And he's depressed.
That's pretty old, yeah.
He was a.
Yeah,
he was like, the oldest Spider-Man.
That's why I liked how they introduced. That's how I liked that they had.
Well, the one that died.
They made this Spider-Man perfect, and then you got the Spider-Man that's like a poor man's Spider-Man, literally.
Yeah,
but technically, Neor is the oldest because he's from the past.
Well, what I'm saying,
he's so old that he doesn't even see in color. That's why the Rubik's Cube was.
What I'm saying, age-wise, because he could probably be like 28, but he's from his universe, so technically, if you.
Yeah,
he's still older.
Yeah, he's still.
I don't know how old he is. I don't think they ever said. That's not the point, though. That's not the point.
Yeah, he's saying I think that the Spider-Man B has been Spider-Man the longest. Amongst all their timelines. Yeah. Even Spider-Man Noir, it seems like
he's the oldest one.
Yeah, Spider-Man Noir's maybe the oldest.
No,
in the thing, but
you're saying he's the oldest
age-wise.
I wasn't even making that
from
a
the 40s.
real thing. I was
So
just making it as a joke.
it'd be like
No, but
it would be like if you brought your uncle from when he was like 20, and you're like, oh,
he's still only 20. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. But the whole thing with like, yeah, he's the older one. He has more experience, but at the same time,
more experience.
His timeline was he didn't want to have a kid with MJ, and MJ.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's why they split up, and that's why at the very end, he's at the very end. He's like, wow, you really. He talks about it like they hint at it every time. Yeah. Like Miles Morales, like at first it was like a little brother thing, and then
He'll sees Mary Jane too, and he's like,
Jane. Yeah, you know what scene awesome. I was super scared about for a while? I was like, fuck, this is gonna suck. Is when Spider-Man, with this Spider-Man, yeah, dude,
oh my god,
you're fucked up. When Spider-Man, when Peter B. Parker, this one right here, is in the cemetery with Miles Morales, and he gets hit, and he gets sucked on the train, you know, and like that scene, I was like, I love how he's crying in the shower,
just sleeping ass up.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. Oh, that's just so wearing funny.
His Spidey suit, just watching TV.
Watching seahorses, bro. He's like,
they made for life.
They made for life.
Oh, this is why I like
wonderful.
It was just funny.
They did really good. I liked all the action sequences a lot. Will named a fat scene, like little highlight for Miles that I was like, oh, you guys both did, but the web swinging moment when him and
he's showing him how to do it.
Yeah, and he was like, what did he say? He's like, hick. Husher.
I just don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember
like
that.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was
every
like,
motion
whoosh,
he's like
whip,
yeah,
whoosh, or
whip,
something.
whoosh,
Yeah.
I like this too.
Yeah.
I like how he tries to eat the pizza before he gets.
Yeah. He's like, please. Everything's going wrong. Not this too.
He got. At least he got his mask, but you see him the most. I feel like without his mask on.
This Peter Parker could make webs without gloves.
He had a shooter because he gave it to
Man,
Miles.
why you guys gotta ruin my immersion, bro? I was so happy for a second. But aren't they in his gloves usually?
Before this thing kind of drags on, or we get super long about it, what are the things you guys didn't like about it? Let's just establish that.
Will, go ahead.
I think they kind of progressed him a little bit too fast.
Miles?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they don't plan on making any other movies, that makes sense why they did it. Because they want to kind of get him to the end point. But if they're planning on making like 3 movies, this movie really went through it a little bit too fast for me, I feel like. Because he basically, at the end of the movie, he is Spider-Man.
You got to think, though, he had 4 other Spider-Mans.
He's the only Spider-Man who has a teacher. Yeah, true. Very true.
And then he didn't lose anybody significant because, remember, before he lost his uncle, he pretty much was raw, like super raw. Like that.
Yeah.
He didn't have a...
Oh, this
Miles.
Miles.
Yeah. Because they all... One of them lost her dad, Gwen lost Peter, and then the other 2 lost Mary Jane.
Actually, he didn't even really use his powers until Spider-Man webbed him up, and he was like, I gotta get out of this. Remember? And he's like, he figures out how to break the webs off by shocking him, or what does he do to get it out?
Shocked him, right?
Yeah, doesn't he? He shocks him off.
Because Peter webs him up in the chair, right? And that's when, the first time he uses it on command, right? Yeah. When he really needs it. Besides the invisibility thing.
What are other things you...
before that?
Well, what about you? What do you think?
Well, like I said towards the end, I really... It's probably going to make a lot of people think I'm like a fanboy or something, like a hipster, but I really did like this Spider-Man. Like I've been saying the whole time, it made me really... I haven't felt like a kid watching a Spider-Man movie in a long time like that.
It definitely has the nostalgia of Spider-Man.
But at the end, when he says that thing with Kingpin, he's like, hey. I was like, okay, that was super fucking cheeseball. I couldn't stand that. I kind of threw me
super
off.
Unexpected too, though. Like that was the main thing. I think there was no way you could predict that happening.
First off, Kingpin was beating the crap out of him, and then he's just gonna be like, what? And then you're gonna let him touch you.
Yeah.
Kingpin would have been like,
no shit. You think he would have Venom strike? Like,
it's a cartoon.
That's what I mean. But like, at the
a
same
pig
time,
beats a guy with a hammer. You can't.
That makes more sense. He still has the laws of physics from his universe. So.
A pig that can talk.
But that
and has spider
Come on,
powers.
he brought that up. He was like, so I guess you guys don't have
Oh,
animals
yeah.
to talk in your.
I don't
in
wanna
your
freak him out or
I don't
anything.
want to freak you out, but
Yeah.
He's talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing, because I
He
think if you
faints.
did that in real life, I told Will this earlier or the other day.
This wouldn't work.
If you did that in real life, where everybody's on the roof crawling around the corners, you couldn't do that good enough or fast enough how they did it in the. You know what I mean? Because
To make it fit, it would just look weird.
It would be like they're like looking down and then scroll over and then like they're stretching and they look but they're not looking and then they're
Yep.
just-
No, you're right.
It would be the Avengers scene, is what you're talking about, where they first
Oh,
introduced the
yeah.
Avengers and the
Yeah.
camera
where they're
pans.
eating
Yeah.
shawarma or whatever.
I'm not
that
gonna
is.
look, but
You remember that?
What
Where
was
they're
it?
eating
At the
shawarma?
end?
that's at the
Yeah.
very. I'm talking about when they
And-
first.
No, he's
start
talking
fighting
about
together.
the scene where it pans and they are all like they get into their highlight.
Oh yeah.
That's what you're basically what you're
The one
describing.
I
No
think
one's
it's- I
looking
think
at the
it's- I think
camera.
it's hilarious when Black Widow has her little foot out.
Yeah,
Eat this high heel, bitch.
yeah.
What about you, Josh? And say what?
What you
I
did
want to
like.
find something I don't like, but after watching it and then like seeing highlights from it right now and talking about it, there's nothing I don't like about it. In fact, oh no, I know what I don't.
What about
like.
Gwen Stacy?
No, I you know what I don't like.
Perfect.
I don't like the fact how bad it made me want another one so fast. Like
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like I hate
You don't
that
want
about
them to just like
Netflix.
pump them out. Just
Yeah,
to pump
like
'em out and make
I
money.
hate that about Netflix because it's like I watch a whole season way too fast, but at the same time,
I'd
I
rather
wish
not
that-
wait though.
yeah, I'd rather
a
not
week
wait.
each
I wish
episode.
that
That
it'd be
sucks.
like
or
if
3
they're
weeks.
gonna do
yeah.
this, and this was like the start to something amazing, then fuck, man, do a full movie or do another movie like
Yeah.
I want them to make
at the
another
end
one.
of the year or something, you know. But
If-
that's it. Other than that, that's a bitch complaint.
If there is
Yeah.
another movie though, I do feel like they rushed it too much with his powers. I think they could have taken
I
more
could
time
see
to
that.
develop it.
Yeah,
Because they definitely, like, 45 minutes, he goes from 0 to hero.
yeah,
Right?
that's true. Yeah.
From, like, the
Yeah.
certain point at the end of near the end, he starts to
That's-
go, like, full throttle.
The
kind of
only thing I would say is he got more motivated after he lost his uncle,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then he didn't kill his uncle, or his uncle didn't get killed by one of the other Spider-Man.
It's a tragedy.
He got
though.
killed by Kingpin.
Yeah.
So at that time, he wanted to be like.
And you know, yeah, I don't know. This movie was dope though.
Yeah.
I liked it.
So-
I recommend it.
Yeah, me
Josh,
too.
1 out of 10 or 0 out of 10.
0 out of 10, I'd say definitely a strong 9.5. Like for
9.5?
sure.
What about you, Will?
I'd say, like, 8.5.
8?
Yeah, 8.5. I'd say.
I'd probably give it a 9.
Yeah, that was a good
So I
one.
guess we would average this movie around a 9. So
It has a good solid 10 Shnerd rating.
there you go. 10. So yeah, check it out.
I'd say about a 9.5 on average.
If you guys like Spider-Man, or if you guys just like want to watch an animated movie, check it out. It's a fun movie. It's really amazing. It's fun to watch with the whole family or by yourself. But
If you
yeah,
have nieces and nephews, go fucking watch that shit. They'll love it.
oh for real,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? My nephews probably would love to watch this.
Oh,
Or they
yeah.
are probably already have.
I'm pretty sure my niece has already seen it too.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's the Spider-Man into the Spideyverse, you guys.
Hell yeah, Shnerdcast out.
Nerd out.